Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day to everyone who's watching this or gonna watch this. My name's Artemi. Actually, I'm coming here later than usual, but I did wake up early. I just did the thing, you know that thing where you wake up and you're like, I'm gonna what? What? And like I'm gonna take a few more seconds and then I'll get out of bed. That's literally what happened this morning. And my weakest morning, a cold morning. Not that. That's such a definitive statement. It sounds very definite. I tend to be slower on cold mornings. Takes me a while to get myself together. So that's what happened this morning. But I'm here. And because of previous situations, previous lives, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be here. So I'm out here just trying to get my computer to come on so I can check that. Because it was terrible the day before yesterday. It was terrible. I give you glory, Lord, as I worship you. I give you. Am I live? Oh my gosh. Glory, Lord, as I honor you, you're wonderful. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are wonderful. You are worthy, oh Lord. See, I can't tell. I can't tell if I'm live. Anyways, today I want to talk about fruits. Fruits in the sense of result. Fruits in the sense of proof. Fruits in the sense of um effect. Like cause and effect. That's what I want to talk about today. And what I want to say today is there will always be fruit. There will always be results. There will always be cause and effect. There will always be proof of your actions. It will always be there. And because there will always be fruit, it's okay to plan, right? It's okay to plan because results will always come out. Um, so for instance, I'm very into plants. I am very into plants. One of my future goals is to have a farm, and do like a farm market where I plant stuff and from my farm I take it to I don't know, someplace down the street and sell fresh farm produce to people. And so one of the things I always think about, one of the things that fascinates me with planting stuff is when you plant stuff, there will always be something, right? It might not be what you expected. It might not look how you expected. In fact, it might it might not be as the yield might not be as plenty as you expected. There's always those things to work with. You might have small harvest. You might get just a few fruits, but the basic is that as long as you plant something into soil, something will come up, right? And that tells me something about life and living, which is that my effort, even when it's little, will yield something. It tells me that anything I do will result in something. It tells me that any result I have, any situation, anything that I can see right now happening in my life is proof, is speaking to what has been done before. Is speaking to my former actions. Is speaking to what I have planted. I'm into fitness, right? I like being fit. My big thing is my body needs to be able to handle. all the work that he has to do in this life. And so that makes me like, that pushes me to be very fitness conscious. And so one thing that I do, or one thing that I say to encourage myself is, your body is the result of your decisions. So if you look at a person's body, you can tell what kind of life they live. You know, people who slouch and then have, you know, a lot of fat in their midsection, or can't walk fast before they're out of breath. You can tell by how a person's body, in fact, the skin tells you, a person's skin can tell you their lifestyle. And so that's how you know that there will always be fruit. Fruits are inevitable. That's the point I'm trying to make. Fruits are inevitable. Anything you do will yield a certain result, and that result will point back to what you did in the first place. Scripture even tells us, scripture says, by their fruits you shall know them. It means that by what comes out of you, it's easy to know what has gone inside you. By what comes out of you, it's easy to tell what has entered you. By the words you say, it's easy to know what you listen to. By the examples you give, the references you make, it's easy to know what goes into your mind. By the use of words, by your use of words, it's easy to know whether you're a reader or not. Do you understand what I mean? Is that fruit will always show, and fruit will show the kind of seed that was planted. You cannot plant, for instance, a mango and have a tomato tree grow. Literally impossible. You cannot plant onions and then a lettuce tree grows, or lettuce from the place. Literally impossible. Whatever comes out is proof of the seed that has gone in. So the question for you would be, what is the seed that has gone in? What am I feeding myself with? What am I feeding my life? What am I ingesting? What am I putting into my soul? What is my soul receiving? From the world around it, from people, from my interactions, what am I receiving? What am I giving to myself? Because that thing that you're giving yourself is what it will inform your output. It's like trying to pass an exam without studying. Frankly speaking, you cannot. You need to study to pass. You need to study to pass. If you don't study, you can't pass. It's basic. It's literally fixed. You have to study for the exam to pass. So because of that, you now have to be conscious of, what am I planting? What is the seed here? I said it a lot on this live. I said it on the previous live. I said, if you find that you are very angry and you don't know why, you are just very angry, you are upset because of something someone said, you need to take a breath and ask, why does this upset me so much? Every time I've done that, I can find the seed. I can track it back where it started, what someone said to me in childhood, what someone said to me as an adult, what was done some point in my life that made this so upsetting for me. You will always find it. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can always track the results to the seed. You can always track the fruit to the seed. And there are times when you can't find it. You're just like, what is this? Check it. Maybe you said a prayer. Maybe it's God answering a prayer you made. For instance, you say, Lord, I want to grow in patience. Give me a heart that is patient. The Lord is not gonna, blow a breeze on you and you're suddenly, oh, I'm calm. No. You're gonna get in a lot of situations that test your patience. And then you will start to build the capacity for patience, because the only way to build something is by practicing, utilizing it. If you want to be a better singer, you have to sing. If you want to be a better writer, you have to write. If you want to be a better dancer, you have to dance. And so if you want to be a patient person, your patience has to be tested repeatedly. So sometimes you can see fruits, you can see results and be like, why is this happening to me? I didn't pray for this. This should not be happening to me. Maybe you actually did if you check it. There is no result that does not have a seed you can trace it to. If you pray and say, Lord, I give you my life, do with me what you want. Did I say what? What? Do with me what you want. You best believe you're going to go through a season where the Lord is going to, you know, stretch, prune, work on you, work on your mind, work on your art, teach you. And sometimes that will be easy and la di da, and sometimes it will be like a weight, like a heavy load, because that's how you learn. You learn through encouragement and adversity. You learn through both hot and cold, both good and bad. It has to be like that, carrot and stick, kind of like that. That's how we all learn. It's different to different degrees for different people, but that's how we all learn. You learn in a place of stretching because when your capacity is tested, it increases. And so, if you pray a prayer like that and your life is going sideways by your own estimation, that's proof of answered prayers. I'm saying there is nothing happening in your life right now that you cannot trace to a seed and a root because everything is a fruit. Everything is a fruit. It's a yielding. It's a result. Everything is a result. Everything is a result. And so, if everything is a result, then you have to be conscious of the beginning of things, the seeds that you plant, the starting point for you. You have to be very conscious. You cannot live, you know, willy nilly without consciousness of the seeds you're planting. There has to be a conscious mind that this is a seed. There has to be a conscious mind. If I exercise today and eat right, I may not feel good about it, but at some point, something that I recently started enjoying a lot is running. And at first, it used to be like a heavy load because I'm one of those ladies with thick thighs. So it was like punishment to run. But at some point, running started to feel good. And then I've now hit the point of runner's high. So I'm going at it 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and all I'm just doing is breathe, breathe, breathe. And I'm enjoying it. And when I stop, my leg, my entire life really shakes a bit like, oh my God. But that is now like something that I enjoy, that makes me healthy, it makes me stronger. And that did not start suddenly. It started with many trials, stops, fails. Many days I would actually attempt to run it to turn into a walk, but I continued because I was thinking of the fruit. I was thinking of the result. What is this going to yield in me? Better cardiovascular health. Yes, I want that. A better looking body. Yes, I want that. Agility. I definitely want that. Endurance and strength. Ooh, give it to me. Double it and pass it to me. And because those were the fruits that I wanted, I could keep at the planting. So when you're tired, when you feel discouraged, this is your cue, your encouragement, your reminder to think of the fruit, to think of the yield. Also, another thing to think is fruits come differently. For instance, if you plant an avocado tree, it's going to take a couple years for that tree to start yielding fruit. After that, it becomes seasonal. But the first yield, and that's how life works. You are planting and pushing and planting and pushing. You don't make any income, nothing shifts, nothing major happens for a couple years. And then after that, it becomes regular, it becomes seasonal. But when you first plant, because one of my favorite fruits is avocado, I know some people think that's a weird thing, but I love it, right? Your first yield, before when you plant an avocado, the first yield usually comes 3 to 4 years after. I'm saying you would have a giant tree growing for years and years, getting stronger in the earth, nothing, no fruit. But then if you plant a tomato or tomato, give it a couple months, you'll see something. I planted and harvested turmeric by myself in a pot. Really nice turmeric, really nice tasting. Couple months. When I tried to plant an avocado, it took months for the roots to come out of the seed. It's that you can you can see that there is increase, there is growth. I'm getting better. the plant is growing, but you don't see fruit. And at that point, you can give up. But when you do that, it's because you are not certain of the identity of what you've planted. You are not certain. If you plant a tree, you're going to have to wait for it to yield. It's different from planting a little, you know, a smaller plant. It's different from planting a bigger plant. Every time I try to propagate snake plants in my house, because I don't use the growing the supplement, the plant supplements. I just put them in water, change the water, put them near sunlight, all of that, cut when necessary, prune when necessary. That's how I treat my plants. It's all very organic, very natural. I make my own compost to put with the plants and stuff. And every time I try to propagate a plant with water, and it's taking so long for the roots to come out, I'm always watching it like, when is this gonna happen? But it's gonna happen, and I have really good looking, especially my snake plants. I propagated most of them. Why can't I talk? But I propagated most of them, and every time, I'm just watching it like, oh my god, when is it gonna come out? But it's gonna come out. Hi Noah, welcome to the live. It's good to see you today. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great. How old am I? I'm old enough, a couple years over 30. Why? Why are you asking? How old are you, Noah? So it's that I find that you're gonna learn that there is a weight involved in planting. Sometimes you want your fruits to come very quickly, but it cannot come if the tree does not mature. Your effort cannot yield until that thing that you have created reaches maturity. And that's it. The point I'm trying to make is there will always be fruit, there will always be yield, there will always be increase, always be proof. There will always be results. There will always be results. There will always be results. So if you are thinking that there are no results, I need you to sit down. And this is why meditation is so great. Rather than worrying, just meditate. It's the same activity. You're focusing on something. You're thinking about it repeatedly. But meditate positively. Meditate on that fruit, that result you're waiting for. Visualize it, wait for it, get excited because of it, and then continue moving because there will always be fruit. Everything that you're doing, everything you've done is a seed planted. Every word you said is a seed planted. Is why you also have to be careful what comes out of your mouth. When you say, I'm fine, yeah, you're going to be fine. I'll be fine. You're going to be fine. It's working out. It's going to work out. I'm great at what I do. You see, people, I saw a quote yesterday, is that there are some people that are so delusional that they stick to their delusion so strongly that at some point, other people start to believe that delusion. That's what I mean when I say be so certain of the fruits that you're expecting. Be so sold out to that mission, that purpose, that idea. Be so sure of what's coming out of that idea that you don't stop planting. You don't stop tending your garden. Your garden is going to have a lot of different trees in it. Some it's a little flower growing. Some it's a giant tree. Some it's a plenteous plant with plenty leaves, like a lemongrass plant or a snake plant. Those usually have plenty leaves, and depending on the amount of sunlight and freedom they get, they can grow to be very huge. So it's the tending of the garden that determines the quality of the yield. So because of that, it's the tending of your garden, of your mind, the consciousness you put into your efforts that determines the quality of the results you get. The consciousness, the intentionality applied to it. I'm saying this applies to everything. Applies to studying, applies to work, your career, applies to if you're a content creator, even it applies to everything you will ever do. The consciousness to say there is a fruit that I'm looking forward to getting, and as a result of that, I cannot handle this as though it is a tiny little thing. I will not handle this as a non-issue. I will not handle this like it is not a big deal. I will not handle, you know, planting, working like it is just a given. I will handle it with the utmost consciousness and care. The same way I would tend to a garden, the same way I would tend to a plant. The same way, if you have plants, you know that you have to water them regularly. You know there's sunlight. You know you have to treat the soil regularly. It's doing everything it takes for good fruits to come out. Because whether you tend it or not, as long as you've planted, there will be fruit. And so if there will be fruit, you have to ensure that whatever fruit you are bringing out of your planting is of good quality. And that cannot happen in second guessing yourself. It cannot happen in, even if you second guess yourself, tend the guide. Even if you second guess yourself, do the things you know that will yield that result. Even if you're not sure, give 110%, 200% if you will. Even when you're confused, show up every day with a sense of purpose and a spring in your step. Even if you're not sure, you don't know, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. There is something that happens when a person is completely dedicated. When a person is focused. I was going to talk about focus like 2 days ago, but it was a battle. My internet was like, nope, you're not going to talk about this focus. But yes, this is where you focus. This is where you put in the work. This is where you go all out. Why? You can do that. It's okay to do that. You are allowed to do that because there is a yield you're waiting for. There is a result you're headed towards. There will always be fruit. Results will always show up. And so, because of that, in your planting season, plant with all seriousness and all consciousness. Let there be the conscious. I'm building something. Let that consciousness be in you. There should be a knowing. There should be a way you move and walk and talk because you're building something. There will always be you. Your results are a direct. Your life is a direct result of your decisions. Your results are a direct effect of your decisions. The decisions you've made is why you are where you were today. I like to say I am where I were. It's a direct link. Every time you're unsure, sit down and trace it. And that's whether for a good or bad thing. There are many good things that are happening in my life. And the direct results, I can trace the point where it changed. I can trace the action I did that facilitated another action that led to a discussion that got me here. And for the things that I consider to not be so good, I can trace it. This is what happened. This is what I did. This is what I said. This was the decision I made. Or this is the habit I started building. There are things that I feel I should be able to do that I can't do yet. And I know this is why. This is the habit I started. This is what I stopped. This is what I didn't do right. And that's why I'm here. But I'm saying you can always trace it. You can always trace it. Oh, I'm overweight, I'm this and that. You can trace it. You can trace it to a medical condition. And when you do your research, you can trace the eating habits, the lifestyle habits that propagate or speed up that medical condition. You can always trace it. You will always see the seed that you planted when you look back. It's inevitable. You can't avoid it. Every time you look back from the result, you can see the seed you planted. So, what I'm saying is, so that your fruits are always beautiful, so that your fruits always yield, before you get to the harvest stage, in the planting stage, begin to work it backwards. For this result, what do I need to do every day to get there? And I know, and I can say this. In fact, I feel very qualified to say this because in the past 4 months, I've lost 10 kg. That's about 20, 22 pounds, maybe 23 pounds, 20 to 23 pounds. So I know what I'm saying when you walk backwards from the result. I have recent proof of it. You can walk backwards. You can say, this is where I want to be. To be here, what do I have to do every day to get there? And then you need to be conscious of time and season. There is nothing you plant that yields immediately. Anybody who plants knows this. Anybody who is into planting and plants knows this. There is nothing that you plant that yields immediately. Those things, oh, those babies are gonna take their time. Those babies are gonna take their time. Last year I planted bell peppers. At some point I had to stop watching them every day because I was like, nothing is happening. And when something did happen, it felt so fast. You need to take your brain off of, is there any change? Am I seeing any change? Am I seeing any change? Am I seeing any change? You need to take your mind off of that and focus on putting in the daily work that is required to achieve this goal, to yield this fruit. If you're gonna make a garden, your garden is not built in one day. At first, it's an empty yard, and then every day or every other day you come there, you water stuff, you prune stuff, you treat stuff, you mix the soil, you plant, you uproot, you change, you do. It's constant tending. So why do you think that in life your results are just gonna come like this? It's especially crazy in this generation because everybody's just like, I want to make money, I want to make a lot of it, and I want to make it now. I want to make a lot of money very fast. That's where everybody's at right now. Like, give it to me, give it to me. Hey, hey. I don't know what I just did, but I feel like everybody's like that. Well, I just want to make money. Just give me my money. Just give me my money. That's that trend. Just give me my money. Everybody's just there. I'm saying it goes beyond that. I'm saying you don't have to be there in that rush. Where you need to be is, what are the day to days? What is the daily seed I'm planting? What is the daily seed I'm planting? Where is the daily? You need to live with that daily consciousness. The daily consciousness that my actions are yielding fruit in real time. And so I cannot play around. I cannot play around. I cannot play around. I need to I need to be conscious of the fruit. You need to constantly be conscious of the seed you're planting, you know. And that's all I wanted to say. That's basically what I came to say today. Be conscious, be conscious, be conscious, be conscious, be conscious. Every time, every time, every time. Be conscious of the seeds you are planting, of what it is meaning for your life, of of where you are headed, of the direct effect of your actions. Be conscious, be conscious, be conscious, be conscious. That's all I came to say, because there will always be fruit, and your fruit will always show your seed. Your result will always show your routine. Your result will show your habits. Your result will show your lifestyle. Your result will show your behind the scenes. Your result will show what you're doing when there's nobody watching you. Your results will show everything. Bring it to light like this. So be conscious of what you're doing per time. Be conscious of the work you're putting in per time. Be conscious of be conscious. Be conscious of the life you are living. Be conscious. Be conscious. That's all I came to say today. If you watched in real time or if you watch the replay, whichever one, I hope that blesses you and encourages you one way or the other. I'm grateful to see you here. God bless you. And that's the life for today. And so I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, so it's this way or that. And yeah, I didn't come yesterday because I overslept. I see it. It's crazy. I was exhausted. I feel like something I should be ashamed to say, but I'm very big on accountability and shaming myself publicly in times like this. So yeah, I overslept. This is the responsibility that I have, but somehow the sleep was greater. I'm sorry about that. Um, so I'm gonna be here tomorrow. I hope this encouraged you, blessed you, lifted up your spirit some way or the other. I'm blessed if that happened for you. And I'll see you same time tomorrow between 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. WAT. Or just subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can know when I start a live and join me and we have a fun chat. I missed some of my faves today. They're usually in the chat just having this back and forth with me. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.